In the modern world, the internet is playing an ever more increasing role in everyday life and society. From getting directions to work, to buying items online, to receiving news, the internet has truly connected the world and become an essential part of our lives. But unfortunately, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. In the United States, we frequently have questions about privacy and safety, and where the line should be drawn, and our own government has been eroding the privacy and rights of the common person in the name of security. Today, I will focus on two branches in particular, the FBI and the NSA. First, let's take a look at the FISA's Section 702. According to ACLU.org, this section allows the U.S. government to conduct mass surveillance of Americans and foreigners' phone calls, text messages, emails, and other electronic communications without the use of a warrant. Although Section 702 was originally intended for surveillance on foreigners abroad, vague wording in the section means that information of Americans can be swept up in the crossfire and can be added to databases. Information collected under the law can be used to prosecute and imprison people, even for crimes that have nothing to do with national security. In any situation where the government can collect information, search unboundedly for evidence, and use it for incrimination without use of a warrant, there is a problem. Not only does this conflict with the Fourth Amendment directly, which states that the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, but it also goes against multiple Supreme Court rulings, such as Riley v. California, where the Supreme Court ruled that the warrantless search and seizure of the digital contents of a cell phone during an arrest is unconstitutional under the Fourth Amendment. Yet this is still in effect to this day and is still being used, unchecked and unbounded. Jumping tracks to another government agency, let's take a look at the NSA. Programs instituted after 9/11 in the name of counterterrorism have given the NSA nearly unlimited power in its ability to collect information from citizens. However, the full extent of this power was not known until the Snowden leaks. In June of 2013, The Guardian released the first of what would become known as the Snowden leaks. Edward Snowden, who worked as an intelligence contractor in Hawaii, stole classified documents from the NSA and released them to media websites, revealing the extent to which the NSA had spied on Americans and foreigners alike. The Guardian reported that the NSA was collecting metadata on millions of Verizon wireless customers' phone calls. The NSA has pressured Verizon to provide them with data on a, quote, ongoing daily basis. The NSA was allowed to do this under Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which set up secret courts that ruled in favor of the NSA's ability to do this. The court rulings, as well as the NSA's use of this power, was all hidden from the public, as these courts are completely closed to the outside world. The legal interpretations used to justify the decisions made in these courts are secret. To sum this up, the NSA has been given power to spy on American citizens without their knowledge, and was given the green light by secret courts that the general public had no say in. This is legal spying on American citizens by the government. Some may say that the wide-reaching abilities of the NSA and FBI are justified in order to prevent terrorism, and that careful rules regulating these agencies are enough to keep them in check. However, these powers have been and will continue to be heavily abused. According to the Washington Post, in just 2022 and early 2021 alone, the FBI misused its surveillance tools nearly 300,000 times, frequently overstepping their boundaries in investigations related to Black Lives Matter protests and the January 6th attack, using their tools to look into private information of citizens indiscriminately. Furthermore, according to NBC News, National Security Agency employees have improperly eavesdropped on the phone calls of girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, wives, and spouses and engaged in other intentional abuses of their authority on 12 occasions. These agencies are portrayed as forces of justice, but when protocol is ignored, it doesn't take a lot to imagine the worst of what they can potentially do. If unchecked, these agencies could use their power to target protesters, political dissidents, whistleblowers, or anyone that poses a threat to them, potentially spying on them and incriminating them without a single check or balance to stop them. And to those that argue that this would never happen, to those that say the government wouldn't betray the people, I'll say, yeah, you're probably right. After all, our government has never abused its power at the expense of the American people, except for, well, you know. The Alien Sedition Acts was attempted to make criticizing the president illegal. Roosevelt's Executive Order 9066, which led to the internment of thousands of Japanese American citizens. The Watergate scandal. Better yet, this entire Wikipedia page listing the hundreds of political scandals in our nation's history. Or my personal favorite, CIA's Project MKUltra, which was, I kid you not, a mind control project where they literally targeted vulnerable members of society, gave them LSD, and intended to alter the way they thought. This happened in America. We are not a free nation because of our government. We are a free nation because of the restrictions placed on our government. Why should these agencies be given a free pass to spy on just about whoever they like without consequences? There is a saying that absolute power corrupts absolutely, and if we don't place limits on what these agencies can do, then we're going to be seeing a lot more of that absolutely. But there are solutions to this. Despite me talking trash on the government basically this entire video, the people that built our country were some of the smartest men alive, and they gave us the tools to build paradise. There are countless ways for unjust laws to be protested and eventually revoked, all protected by our Constitution. To start simply, despite opposition from our current administration, Section 702 is set to expire this year without congressional approval. Additionally, congressmen can vote to reform this law, to modify it, and to address its current major flaws. As Americans, we have the privilege of not only being able to say and publish our thoughts without fear of political repercussion, but we also have access to our government officials through the use of linkage institutions such as the media, as well as the ability to send emails directly to our congressmen and representatives. Together, we could push for new legislation to place barriers on what these government groups can do. But thinking even bigger, there might be a way to put an end to all this nonsense altogether. Although we have zones of privacy within our Constitution granting certain rights to the American people, the Constitution does not explicitly state that we have a right to privacy. An amendment could change that, rendering all prior legislation allowing government agencies to conduct mass surveillance null and void, and safeguarding our right to privacy as people. So, whether you care or not, I hope I could at least make you aware of the power held by agencies such as the FBI and NSA, and their vast potential for abuse. While I'm not saying we should all burn our phones and put on tinfoil hats, I think that we should at least show a bit of concern over what powers we are granting those above us. In the words of Benjamin Franklin, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Thank you for listening.